Hey guys, we are live. I am switching up the scenery today. I'm actually on my outdoor screened-in porch. I just felt like it feels so good outside, so why not just switch it up a bit today and be outside? So we are outside enjoying this beautiful weather. It is currently, let me check. I went on a walk this morning and it was 62 degrees, I believe. So let me see what it is right now. It's 69 right now. So nice and cooled down. We have been getting so lucky with the weather here in Charleston. I'm honestly so thankful. Just kind of like when we moved here, it was like the peak of summer, so super hot weather, but it's been so nice having like a good summer, like hot summer, and then now it's kind of like eased into the fall like weather. It's obviously still pretty warm here, but it's been nice to have some cool mornings because I don't know, there's something about like a nice crisp morning when you go for your walk. So yeah, my husband and I have been drinking our coffee out here on the porch in the mornings, so it's been really nice. I am actually drinking a tea this morning, and my cup says "Stay cozy." Um, we're all for the cozy vibes. Now that it's September, I just feel like my mindset shifts into fall season slash just cozier vibes compared to like summer. I feel like I don't know. Summer is obviously one of my favorite seasons, but when I think of fall, the word cozy comes to mind. So I'm excited for some cozy weather. But I am drinking a tea because I did already drink my coffee, and I just can't drink 2 cups of coffee in a day or else I'm bouncing off the walls. So just 1 cup of coffee this morning and then switched over to some tea. My little sister, SKW Lifts, she actually told me about it's called Tazo it's Tazo chai tea, and it is so good. So I do like a chai latte sometimes, which it does have caffeine in it, but it's not like super caffeinated like if you drink like a cup of coffee or an espresso. So that's probably what I'll do because this morning we are going on a little road trip. So that is kind of why the live is on a different day. We'll be out of town tomorrow. So I just didn't want to have the hassle of like trying to get to the room on time, and like we're going to be with family, so I kind of want to unplug and kind of be present in the moment with them instead of worrying about getting my laptop and Wi-Fi and all that good stuff. So but I didn't want to miss my live, so that is why we're doing a live today on Saturday, which I obviously do my lives on Sunday at 9 a.m. So today is Saturday at 9:30, which I kind of like doing it on a Saturday. I don't know, usually we are up and running and doing something on a Saturday. So that's why Saturdays don't normally work for me. But I thought, why not do it today? I was also thinking of maybe doing it later in the day tomorrow, but it just all worked out better to do it today. So that's why we have our live today. I'm sorry for the last minute switcheroo, but it just all around worked out better. I am going to have a few weekends where my live is probably going to be a little bit switched up because we have a few trips coming up and family visiting. So I will try to post that earlier compared to how I did today. I kind of did it last minute, spur of the moment. So good morning, Mom. How are you? I love you too. Um, I hope you're having a good morning. What are you drinking this morning? I'm actually using one of the mugs you got me, my Stay Cozy mug. And I love this mug so much. I like that at the bottom it has this so you can hold it and it doesn't burn your hand, compared to some of my other mugs. If you're holding the bottom, it'll burn. So I need my tea to cool down a bit though, because it's pretty it's pretty piping hot this morning. Also, Mom, I'm drinking the tea that you got me in Denver. So I got the mug and the tea all in one this morning. But yeah, today's live is a little bit different, just because it's on a different day. But I'm excited because we have quite a bit to talk about. I actually went and visited my Nana and Papa this when was it? It was yesterday. Yesterday I left, but I went on Thursday and surprised them. I haven't seen them. I think May was the last time we did the math. It was May was the last time that I've seen them. So it's been quite a while. I hate that it's been that long, but I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to surprise them. It kind of just worked out with my work schedule, where I could like drive up. It's only a 5-hour drive from where they live to me. So I was like, I'll get up early make the trip, and it was honestly such a good drive. Like, it's a straight shot for the most part. So yeah, it was pretty easy. Mom said, "I am great." Um, thing yet, nothing yet. I ran out of coffee. Oh, oh, you have to get you some coffee. I actually ran out of K cups, and my nana hooked me up. She gave me a bunch of K cups that they don't use because she, after her surgery, said that she's not been a huge fan of coffee recently. So I was like, well, if you want those off your hands, I'm more than happy to take those off your hands for you, and they'll get good use because Josh and I love our Keurig that we have. They were it was salted, or it's caramel drizzle, and then the other one's French vanilla, which I love French vanilla, and he loves the caramel one, and I like caramel too. That's the one I had this morning, but I think French vanilla is just like a classic taste to me, so I love the French vanilla. Um, but yeah, it's been a good morning so far. We woke up at 6:15 today, so bright and early, and then we went for a little walk around the neighborhood, just Josh and I. So it was really nice. I got in yesterday, so the whole thing was I left on Thursday super early. So I left at 5:45 on Thursday, and then I headed there. I got there around 11:20, I think is when I got there. And it was 5 hours and I only stopped once, which was really nice. And then we hung out, did some crafts. My nana was so surprised. So I actually had to tell my papa I was coming because I wanted at least one of them to know I was coming. I didn't want to just like show up in worst case, like one, they're still sleeping, or two, they're like at a doctor's appointment or like at a friend's house. So I was like, let me just like triple check their schedule before just like randomly unannounced showing up. And my papa was so happy. He was like, absolutely come visit. Like, schedule's clear. So I made the trip and I called him. I think it was like, I called him on Monday. So like, it was like so spur of the moment that I planned this trip. Good morning, Nana. I see you're up bright and early this morning. Um, so yeah, it was like I did my live on Sunday and then I talked to my nana and she was just like so sad. She was like, "Well, cuz we've been trying to get together for some time now." And she was like, "Oh, well, I guess I'll communicate through call in your lives. I really miss you." And she was sounded so sad and I was just like, "Oh, that like breaks my heart because I've obviously been wanting to go see them." And then randomly out of nowhere, I had Thursday and Friday off and my brain was like working and I was like, well, why don't I just drive up there since I have 2 days off? And so I called my pawpaw, got the green light, and we made it happen. And it was so awesome. My nana screamed so loud when I walked in. So she was definitely surprised. I'm proud of my pawpaw for keeping that secret because I don't know. I just like can't keep a secret. So I'm the worst person. If anyone is trying to ever surprise anyone and I have to keep a secret, I'm not good at that. I just like I can't lie. I'm not good at it. So you can read me like a book, and so not the best person to keep a secret like that. But I have pulled off a few surprises. It's just very hard for me to do that. So surprised them, and then we did so many crafts, and I actually am gonna spill the beans a bit and show you guys a sneak peek of one of the crafts we did. And I know my nana recorded and I also recorded, so those videos will be coming probably sometime this week. But we actually made little pumpkins and they're so cute. I'm gonna end up hot gluing and I think I'm gonna lift this up a bit so it's showing more when it's sitting. And this is just stick, and then there's some toilet paper in here. It's a whole thing. I'll explain it more in the video that's to come, but I thought this was so cute and very fall inspired. So that's definitely a fun video that I have coming out soon. And then I showed her some YouTube stuff we edited, and then we went through all of her crafts. Like, we went deep diving into the crafts, and she gave me a bit to kind of help jumpstart my craft room. So I'm really excited to start scrapbooking, and she gave me a few pillows, which we'll talk about some of that a little bit later on in this live because I have some really cool ideas for those. And then we went through some like of her kitchen stuff that she just isn't using anymore. So I made out like a bandit with some good stuff, and hopefully that helped her to like clear out some space. So it was a really good visit. And then we had some casserole for dinner. And then the next day, my Nana and Papa both, I woke up to the smell of bacon. So my Nana was cooking already. I think it was like, she woke up like super early. So I woke up at like 7:15, I think, and she was already up. Both my Nana and Papa were up and cooking, and they're both retired. So usually they usually sleep in. So like that was super early for them to be awake, and it made me so happy because I was like, it's so sweet. They woke up. They obviously we had limited time, so them waking up, we had more time to actually hang out and be together, and we had a good breakfast. My papa made some delicious grits, and then Nana made um, eggs, biscuits, and bacon. So it was a nice hearty breakfast for the drive ahead. And then we did some more organizing and just kind of going through crafts. And then I headed off. I left at like 9:45, so I ended up making it home at 3 p.m. yesterday. And honestly, the drive home was super quick. Even the drive there wasn't bad, but I always feel like driving home seems faster than like driving somewhere. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way. Definitely in the comments. Do you feel like the drive going somewhere takes longer than the drive home? I know it's the same amount of time, but for some reason, I think my brain's like tricks me into feeling faster. Um, and it ended up being the same amount of time because I did have my GPS. So, but it was good. I did get a bit of rain on the way home, and I was nervous because I wear contacts and glasses, and I was obviously wearing my glasses. But when it starts raining, I definitely can't see very well. I have a double stigmatism, so my eyesight just is not the best. But I could see it was fine. It only rained for like, I want to say a total of like 15 minutes on my drive. So it was in Georgia when it started raining, and no traffic, and it was smooth sailing. So it was a nice drive. That was like my biggest like fear of like how the drive was gonna go, but it all went smooth. And I forgot to tell you guys my highs and lows, so we'll do that real quick. So my high was definitely visiting my Nana and Pawpaw, and just like surprising my Nana and seeing her reaction was so sweet. And I hadn't been to their house since 2017 or 2018 for Thanksgiving, so it's literally been such a long time since I've been back, and it was just so nice, like going through all the family photos and seeing how it's changed because I hadn't been there in so long. So they had their bathroom redone, they have a carport now, like all kinds of stuff was changed. I mean, it still looks like I remember it from when I was younger, but it's definitely they've upgraded a lot of stuff. And even like their TV, they took out one of the walls and got a bigger TV. So good morning, David Taylor. How are you? Good morning, Greg Koiser. I hope you're having a good day. How are you guys this morning? Um, but yeah, definitely my high was going to visit them. It was, it honestly is just so nice that I'm so close to my family now. So this is definitely gonna be something that happens a lot more often. I don't have to wait to do like a flight, or even if I wanted to do a flight, I feel like flights home are super relatively cheap, like not super cheap, but like way cheaper compared to like when we were in Denver and Austin. Even I feel like Austin did have pretty good price flights, but Denver, for some reason, I don't know, the flights leaving Denver were always super expensive. And I think that just has to do with, to me, Denver is like a destination spot for people to go like skiing and like see the mountains. So maybe they just like up the prices a bit more. Nana said it was so great. Greg said so nice to visit family. It sure is. It was a much needed trip, and I'm definitely so excited. I'll actually be seeing my family again in October for my little sister's 18th birthday party, which is so crazy to say out loud that she's going to be 18. But I'm so excited to see some more family and hang out. And then my husband will be with me, so it'll be nice. He had to work, so he wasn't able to make this trip, but he got all the pictures, and he was so happy that made it there. So yeah, that was my high. Another high was just having a smooth drive. I called my grandma, and my grandma was like praying for me. She's like, I hope you have a good, safe trip. So shout out grandma for sending the prayers. And it was a nice, relatively short trip. So it didn't feel like so long of a drive. I will say when we moved here, my husband actually drove the entire way from Denver to Charleston, and we didn't have cruise control in our U-Haul, which that was a whole other thing because when we moved from Austin to Denver, we had cruise control, and it just makes a world of a difference to not have to like press on the gas. Because to me, it took me a minute to figure out my cruise control because I hadn't used it in so long. So for the first like 2.5 hours of my trip, I was just like pressing the gas. And there was also a lot of times where the speed limit went from like 40 to 50 to 60 to back down. So a lot of speed traps on my trip. But yeah, Josh drove it without cruise control, and it was 8 hours a day that we drove for 3 days. So shout out to my husband because I don't know how he did that. To be honest, I don't know if I could have driven the U-Haul just because I couldn't see. Like I parked it one time when we stopped. I had to like, or I didn't park. I had to like drive it forward to open up the back to get some clothes out, and I had to reverse it back. And I told him, I was like, "There's no way I could drive this because I can't see out either side." My neighbor is mowing their grass, so I'm sorry if it's a little loud. I'll try to talk a little bit louder. Um, and then my low for the week has just kind of been not being as consistent as I would like to with reading my book. I feel like I got in a pretty good routine of like reading every day during my lunch. And I don't know, for some reason, I just haven't been in a reading mood, which is totally fine. I just want to pick it back up because I feel like when I read it, I don't know, it just kind of makes me feel better. And it's also, I'm reading a self help book. So I learn I gain a lot of knowledge while I'm reading. So definitely want to get back to that. Another thing I did actually on this road trip is I listened to podcasts. And in Denver, I actually would walk to work. And so that was kind of my thing. I would always listen to a podcast on my way walking to work and then on my way walking home. And it's just something I kind of like fell off from doing. So I want to get back into listening to podcasts. So definitely need to do that. The podcast I listen to is the Hot Girl Energy podcast. The host is Kaylee, and she is so amazing. I love her podcast. So I got to listen to 2 episodes, and then I also called a ton of family on the trip. I didn't get to call certain family members because it was working hours, but like my grandma, talked to my sister for a second, and then my mother-in-law got to talk to her too. So it was nice. But yeah, definitely want to get back into reading. I actually have my book right here. I'm reading The Atomic Habits. This book is so good. I highly recommend it. I'm not halfway through, but almost halfway through it. And there's so much knowledge in this book, and it's just it's kind of like a breath of fresh air to get a different perspective on like habits and consistency and things like that. And I've been struggling with my consistency. So definitely need to get back on it because this book was super motivating to me to kind of keep my routine and habits. So I'm going to get back on that. I'm actually going to bring it on our drive and see if I can't read a little bit. Fun fact is I actually do get a lot of motion sickness when either I'm on a boat or when I'm driving. I don't know why. It's usually if like I'm a passenger, I get like car sick. So when I look at my phone or read, I do get a little queasy. So hopefully that doesn't happen this trip. I probably will only read like a chapter if I do read, but yeah, I don't know why that is a thing. And when we went on our cruise, I actually was so seasick. Like I don't think I'll ever do a cruise again. Just personally, it was fun, but I was super seasick a lot of that trip. But I took like Dramamine, I think is what it's called, and I had like these little patches behind my ear that helped a ton. But if you ever go on a cruise, definitely beware of like seasickness because my stepmom Jill, she actually brought all that medicine and I didn't. So if she wouldn't have brought that, I would have been miserable. Rhondamus Henry, what podcasts do you like? What types of books do you enjoy reading? I like a lot of self-help books. So I read, it's called this is a book. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. I will not say the full word on here, but that book was very eye-opening. I like self-help books personally. I also I read like Twilight and then The Hunger Games, like those type of books. So, but I'm definitely more of like a self-help book kind of person. I just like reading and kind of like getting different perspectives on different things. And then from a podcast perspective, I listen to kind of a range of different podcasts. I listen to Theo Vaughn, he's a comedian. I listen to Joe Rogan, he's another comedian. Who else? The girl that I listen to is more of like a self-help, or like Emma Chamberlain. I listen to a few like influencer podcasts. And then like Sydney Adams. She hasn't released a new podcast in quite some time, but I can definitely do maybe a video on like the books and podcasts that I have listened to, because I think that'd be really interesting. I always like to see kind of like what other people read and listen to. But I've been off of my podcast game for a bit. Oh, I guess I listen to a lot of comedian podcasts. Another person I absolutely love is Bill Burr. His podcast is so good, and he cracks me up. Like, he's just like naturally so funny. I don't even know if he's trying to be funny, but just like some of the things he says just crack me up. I think his is called like the Monday night podcast. I'd have to look up. If you go on either Spotify or just like the Apple podcast and look up Bill Burr, it'll pop up right away. But yeah, I guess I listen to a lot of, I didn't even, until like saying it out loud, I listen to a lot of comedian podcasts. But I can definitely go through and like make a list of who I listen to. But today, so I know we have more people in right now than earlier when I was announcing this, but the whole reason that the live is switched from my normal Sunday 9 a.m. schedule is we are actually going to visit my in-laws, or they had a trip to come to Myrtle Beach, so we're going to see them. Funny thing is, they had this trip booked before we moved, so it kind of just worked out. We live, I think it's like an hour and a half or 2 hours away from Myrtle Beach. I've personally never been to Myrtle Beach, so I'm so excited to go see how it is. I heard they have a really cool boardwalk with like live music and food and stuff. And my mother-in-law was telling me that every time she visits Myrtle Beach, if you go on the boardwalk at the end of the pier, you see sharks, which kind of makes me nervous, because I'm like, obviously, if you're in the water, I've said this before, it is the shark's home. So if you choose to go in the ocean, you are choosing to go in their home. But it kind of puts it in perspective when you're on the pier, that's so close to like where people swim, and there's like a ton of sharks, she said. So I wonder if like people probably like throw out old bait or stuff like that, and that's why they gather around there. But I'm hoping I can see a shark. Not while I'm in the water, of course, but like on the pier would be cool. So we'll see. I will try to take a picture if I end up seeing one. I don't know how far down it is, but if it's not too far, it'll be cool to see a shark. I better not jinx myself, actually. I'm not even going to jinx myself. But what is everyone up to today? We're heading down there actually right after this live to drive down to Myrtle Beach, and then we're going to stay the night there, and then tomorrow head back because Josh has a football game to watch at 1, so we got to catch the football. I'm wondering if we'll just end up staying there and watching the game there and then driving home. I'm not sure. And then Mr. Rex will be well taken care of. He's going to go stay at someone from Rover's house, so it'll be cool for him. They have a dog, so he'll get to have a little puppy play date time. I like the shark emoji. Hopefully we'll see it. Is that a shark or a dolphin? I can't tell. I don't have my glasses on. I'm gonna assume a shark. But my mom said taking Natalie to take her senior pictures. Oh my gosh, my sister's taking her senior pictures today. Wow, that is so crazy. Please have her send me some pictures of what she's wearing and how her makeup looks. I want to see, and definitely if you can sneak a behind the scene photo, take one for me. It feels like yesterday I was taking my senior photos. It's so crazy. My youngest sister she's growing up so fast. I am 26, and then my middle sister is 21, and then now my youngest sister will be 18 on October 6th. So time is moving so fast. Oh, a shark. Nice. That's what I assumed. I was like, it looks like a shark. Also, my computer does this thing where if depending on what lighting I'm in, it dims the screen, which is really nice because then I don't have to like swap it. But since I'm outside and it's pretty bright out here, it's dimmed the screen. So I'm like, what is the emoji? Thank you, Mom. Yeah, I definitely want to see little Nat Nat, or not so little Nat Nat. Um, but yeah, I am just so excited. I feel like we've had so many fun trips in the past few weekends of like family visiting, and we have a ton of trips coming up. Um, I think I had said in my last live, October, we have something planned every single weekend. So it's going to be a busy, busy season, but I'm excited for it. And what is next weekend? We have a wedding back in Colorado. So I am so excited because actually it's my old coworker that I used to work with, and we got super close when we worked together, and she is like a lifelong friend now. So I am so excited. I actually did her bachelorette video. If you go back in my videos, that's my friend who I'm going to see her wedding. So excited. It's wedding month for her. I know planning a wedding is so stressful. Josh and I actually eloped, and it was still very stressful planning an elopement. So I can't imagine planning like an actual full-on wedding. That must be super stressful. She's super organized though. She had like spreadsheets of like everything. So I know it was all planned to the T. And hopefully super smooth for her, but super excited. I'm also excited to see kind of how like the weather in Colorado is. I know it definitely gets way chillier there than here, so I'm sure it actually feels a lot more like fall time. I think the high today is only where we're gonna be is 78, so it's actually like not that bad, but I haven't looked at like the humidity percentage because that's what gets you. Actually, my mom and I were talking, and she was like, yeah, it was only 80 degrees the other day, but then it was like it felt way hotter. And that's kind of like what gets us here is it'll be like, let's say it's 80 degrees, but then like humidity is like 94% or something crazy like that. So then you're like sweating, but you're like, oh, it's only 80 degrees. But you definitely have to um, check the humidity whenever you're here. Good morning, Monaco. I hope you're having a good day. How are you? Um, it's cool. Like, I know my lives on Sundays, there's like, certain people have different schedules. So it's cool on a Saturday to see some new faces in here or people that I've seen like comment on my videos and then see them in the live today. It's been cool to see that. And I know like every live, you can't make every live, but I have been thinking about maybe like switching my live time to a different time. Definitely comment and tell me if that works better for some people. I know right now it's at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and I know that's kind of tough because that's a lot. Like a lot of people go to church at that time, and I don't like. I obviously want to make it a time that works for everyone, but then I also have to try to make it a time that is easiest for me, kind of like because Sundays are definitely a busy day for me. But Red Green said, surprise, Papa in the house. We loved your visit. Aw, hi, Papa. I'm so happy you're on my live. See, you surprised me. How cool. I loved my visit too. Earlier in the video, I was just saying how much fun I had, and it was just so cool. And I gotta share with you guys. So my Nana and Papa, they are retired, so they sleep in and then stay up late. And I actually stayed up. It was 12:10 a.m. that I stayed up. I was proud of myself because I usually am in bed by like 9:30. I'm an early bird. I wake up early and I go to bed early usually. And I even slept in at their house. So I stayed up late and slept in, which was a nice little surprise. Um, yeah, it was so cool. And I even saw some deer. Pawpaw, I actually went on a little walk this morning, and we have some why am I blanking on this? It's like wetlands that they kind of like preserve. And there were some deer back there that I saw this morning. So I've never seen any deer here. So it was cool to see. We heard the noise and then we stopped and we're looking and we saw a deer. So it was cool. I thought of you. We also saw a huge frog. I feel like we see a lot of animals here, which is nice, but I'm a little bit scared of frogs. I know a frog isn't gonna do anything to me, but I don't know, something about them like hopping at me just freaks me out. And we also saw a little baby snake this morning. I'm talking like just hatched. It was so tiny. Um, but I've actually seen a lot of snakes here. That's the one thing that kind of freaks me out. I mean, growing up, I had a creek in my backyard, and I don't think I nearly saw as many snakes as I've seen here. I probably saw like a handful of snakes growing up in my yard. Maybe I just wasn't looking for them, but as an adult, I've seen a ton of snakes, and we've only been here a few months. Oh, I love all the emojis, the deer and the frog. Um, but yeah, I actually saw my papa said it was a banana spider. It was a massive banana spider on their porch swing, and my nana just went and sat down with it, and I was like, there is a huge spider right there, and she was like, I'm not going to be bothered by that spider. It's in its web. And I was like, I wish I could be that chill with spiders, but I'm just not good with spiders. I think I would rather I don't know, if I had to pick between a spider or a snake, I might pick a snake over a spider. I don't know, like, I feel like a spider jumping at you is just, like, terrifying. But, I actually was at my neighbor's house, and there was a snake on their porch, and I was not brave enough to move the snake because they have a way bigger, outdoor screen and porch than we do, so I was, like, thinking in my head, I'm like, "Well, if I grab the snake, then I have to open the door, and then I have to walk that distance with the snake." I was, like, really thinking through it, like, not happening. So another neighbor came and saved the day because I could not be brave in that moment. I'm just not a big critter fan. I'm just not good with them. I let them do their thing, but I'm not the one to move any animals. We actually have a bat here that lives, we have an umbrella, an outdoor seating area, and there's a little baby bat that lives in there. And in the afternoons when we go on our walks, you actually see all the bats flying around, which I like the bats because they eat the flies and all the bugs. So I'm like, the bat can stay, that can be its home. I don't need that umbrella during the day anyway, so he has his own little home, and we've opened it like 3 or 4 times and he's been in there. So I'm like, now we just keep it closed so he can have his time. But I did want to talk about a few fall DIYs that I'm going to be attempting. So I showed you guys, I feel like I showed this earlier, so I'll show it again, a little sneak peek of a video coming out this week. But me and my Nana made these little pumpkins, and they are so cute, and it was relatively easy to make. I will say you do have to do a lot of working with the material. My Nana had helped me a bit because I like did it at first and it was so square. So I was like, and she's like, don't worry, you just work the material, keep working it, and it'll be perfect. And it turned out really good. So I definitely want to make some more. I kind of want to go to a craft store and stock up on some material just to have. And I definitely want to do like some fall colors. And I might even do some, like, I know we're not there yet, but like some Christmas colors. You can never stock up too early. I feel like the stores come out with like Christmas and fall decor at the same time. So I know they'll have it. And I'd rather buy it now than not them be like sold out of it whenever I need it. So we'll see. I have some stuff in the works, but my Nana actually gave me these pillows that she wasn't using, like the pillow inserts, and all I have to do is make the pillow covers. So what I'm going to do is I don't have a sewing machine at the moment, so I'm going to buy just like a pillow cover, and then I'm going to do a little ghost on them for like a Halloween DIY, and I'm going to do like yarn and then like shape them like that and do like little black felt tip eyes for the ghost. And I think it's going to be really cute. I am really excited to make that. I've actually been like eyeing that DIY for quite some time, but I just was holding off buying the pillow inserts. So now that I have them, I have no excuse now. So definitely that's on my list, and it's super inexpensive. So whenever I do that video, I'll definitely break down like the cost of what it cost me to make, because at first I know sometimes it's like, oh, it might be cheaper to just buy it compared to buying all the supplies, but in reality, if you buy all the supplies, then you can make multiple of them, so it ends up being cheaper. And I think one of those pills probably runs about $20 to $30, so it'll be cheaper in the long run. Another pillow DIY I want to make are the pumpkin pillows, which I've been seeing those everywhere. I saw a pack at TJ Maxx, but I think it was $30 or $40 for pillows, which for 3 pillows wasn't a horrible price. I thought that was actually a good price, but they weren't the colors I wanted. So I kind of want to do it myself and kind of like customize it more to like what I would like for my house. Um, so that's definitely on the list of projects to do. And then I want to do painting some like either like wine glasses or just like glassware in general because I've been seeing the little pumpkin glasses and I think those are so cute. Or even like painting a mason jar. I have quite a few mason jars, and the best place to buy mason jars, in my opinion, is a thrift store. I know they sell them at like the stores and stuff, but I have noticed the price of those have went up a bit just because a lot of people have been like doing DIY projects with them, and they're more, I guess, like a aesthetic or a trend that I've seen. So I've always bought them from the thrift store, like Goodwill, Salvation Army, stuff like that. So I think I might buy some glassware, and usually you can find it for like under $1 or like maybe like a set for like $3, which is such a steal. The only thing is, if you want like the ones with the lids, then maybe you should buy them from the store. But I never use the lids because I just use them to drink out of. So I want to do like maybe like paint some pumpkins. Ooh, sorry guys, move the chair. I want to paint some pumpkins on the mason jar, which I think would be so cute. Or just do like maybe like some fall. I have to look up some inspo on Pinterest, but do like some fall inspired cups. And I mean, glassware like that usually is pretty on the pricier side. So, my tea finally cooled down. It was like piping hot when I grabbed it. I just love this mug. Stay cozy. So that's the paint the glasses, and then the ghost pillows, the pumpkin pillows. Those are 3 DIYs that will be coming out. I want to get those out sooner than later so that I can enjoy them for the fall season, and then I can have them for next year, which would be nice. And oh, this is like a random point on here, but I recently repotted one of my plants, and it is not doing good. So it's actually the plant right behind me, right here, and I noticed like so the pot I had in it was literally a small mason jar. Good morning, Uncle David. Come on, keeping it real. How are you? Um, but that's the mug I gave you. I don't know if you heard me earlier, Mom, but I had said that I was drinking the mug that you bought me, and I'm also drinking the tea that you bought me in Denver. So I'm drinking out of the cup you bought me and the tea you bought me, which is cool. And this tea is so good. I think it's an English breakfast tea. It's very yummy. I already had my coffee earlier, and like I said, if I drink 2 cups of coffee in one day, I am bouncing off the walls. So I know sometimes I talk really fast in my lives, and it's usually because I've drank my coffee or I've had a little bit more coffee than I probably should have. So then I get really excited. Coffee affects me pretty hard when I drink it, so I gotta ease it up on the coffee. Usually I only drink 1 cup. So I think after this, I'm going to make a little chai latte, which just has a little bit of caffeine, which I want to share my chai latte recipe because, like I said, my little sister, SKW Lifts, she put me on to the Tazo brand. And if you get like a chai latte at Starbucks, I think it's like $5 or something. And I always get oat milk. So then it's like $6. And for the Tazo, it's like this big, and it's probably like $5 or $6 for that. And then that jug will last me like a week and a half or 2 weeks, depending on how many chai lattes I make, or chai teas I make. And that's just crazy. I can get like a lot chai tea a day for like the price of one, make 5 of them. So yeah, I definitely, and in my opinion, it tastes good. My mom said, "When did you transplant the plant? It might have transplant shock. It takes a few days for it to bounce back." I did it last Sunday because I did it before my live, and I like feel so bad because it was in a mason jar, like a mug mason jar, so it was super small, and it like the roots, they were like overgrowing, like it needed to be repotted, and it's grown so much. So that used to be a little that was just a clipping that I had gotten, and it's grown all the way down to the barrel, like past the barrel. And so I was like, oh, I need to repot this. It's in like this tiny, tiny jar. Well, I kind of wish I didn't repot it because in the process, it was so tight in there that some of the roots did get ripped, but majority of it I did save. But now it's like drooping over sad, and it's plenty of water in there because sometimes that plant I've noticed if as soon as I water it'll look sad. I'll water it and then it like thrives back up and the leaves are really green. And Josh watered it while I was gone, and it still looks like that. But yeah, I might have transplant shock. I didn't even think about that. I kind of am thinking, maybe you can tell me if this is a good idea or not. I've been kind of thinking of just buying or using my giant mason jar I have and putting it in that, and then just getting some more big mason jars because I do drink out of that mason jar almost every day. Um, Maybe it was happier in a mug, like a jar, than it is in that. So we'll see. Come on, Keep It Real said, okay, it's time to get the camera out and start a gardening channel. Veronica, come on. I keep telling my mom this. I seriously, everything, like every time I have a question, I call my mom. She is like the gardening guru. She seriously, like, anytime I have an issue, I'm talking like, you can pay for this app and you pay for it. That's the kicker. You pay for it, you take a photo, and it'll tell you what's wrong with your plants. Well, I don't need to pay for that. I just call my mom. I send her a picture, and then she's like, "Oh, it's this, it's that." My mom said, "LOL, I have been thinking about it." And then Uncle David said, "I know a guy." LMAO. I'm telling you, she needs to just pick it up. I seriously think if you are thinking about starting a YouTube channel or like kind of getting in more of like the social media world, the hardest part is just starting. So if you keep telling yourself, "Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I want to do it." Stop telling yourself that and just do it. You don't need to have the most aesthetic background. You don't need to have the perfect camera. You don't need to have like all these things. Nothing has to be perfect. Just start, because that's like the raw realness of it, is like just doing it. And I feel like it's more relatable. So I think if you are on the fence or like have like the thought, "Oh, I kind of want to start," just do it. The Like Uncle David just said, the first video is the hardest. I look back at my videos. I have over 100 videos now, but like I look back at my first video and I was so nervous. You can tell, like, it's just like reflecting back on that first video, it's so crazy how much I've grown from that. And like you grow from that from just doing it. It's like with anything in life. Like you don't know how to ride a bike, the first thing you do is ride a bike. You're probably going to fall off the bike, but if you keep riding the bike, you're going to get it, and then you're not going to need those training wheels anymore. So it's like with anything in life, you just have to keep practicing at it. Funny enough, I watch YouTube videos to help me with my YouTube. So, I mean, anything and everything you can Google. I'm still learning. I'm still a newbie at this, but I also like am happy to answer any questions about YouTube always. Um, Red Green said, that plant does not like too much sunlight, only a small amount of direct sunlight, mostly indirect sunlight. Thank you, Papa. It is an indoor plant, I will say. So I had brought it out here. So maybe I can bring it back inside because I actually got it from my old job. They were getting rid of a ton of plants, and it was actually a plant that was it was just overproducing. So I clipped them, and I propagated all the plants. And you guys, I actually propagated enough plants to give them away. So I had about 20 different vases that I gave out to people, and it was so awesome. So yeah, maybe I'll switch the location of it because I do know that is an indoor plant. So it's probably, I mean, right there where it is, that's like where the most sunlight hits. So that's probably a lot on it. Nana said, if I can do it, you can. Yes. See? My Uncle David said, "Oh Lord, my first videos are painful for me to watch. You will never stop learning. I learn every day, and I've done over 1,000 videos." Yeah, I definitely when I watch my old videos, I do cringe a bit, but it's like it kind of makes me like happy to see that like I pushed myself and just I put the video out there, because I think I've told you guys before, I've I've actually started a YouTube before and then deleted all my videos back in high school. So this is my second time around, and this time I've not given up on myself and I've kept going. So it's definitely, you just got to push yourself, and it can be scary to put yourself out there, but it's also like if it's something you're passionate about, I think you should absolutely do it and try it. And my mom has so much knowledge to like for people to learn from with her gardening tips and just like even her crafts. She made my sister's having a sweet like not a sweet 16 a birthday party for her 18th birthday, and she made all the centerpieces, and the centerpieces look like you bought them from like a professional place. Like they look gorgeous. So it's just like I don't know. I think she should do it. Hit that thumbs up button if you think my mom should start a YouTube, because I definitely think she should. And it's like, it's funny because I always tell her it's like I'll have all these questions and I'll look them up on YouTube, and sometimes I'll watch a video and I just need a little bit more in depth or like just a little more detail sometimes. So I'll call her and I'm like, see, this, and I'm telling you what people need because I'm the person that needs it. So there's a market out there, and so she just needs to jump off the cliff and do it, which it's always scary, but everyone has your back. And honestly, this community is so awesome, and we'll support you. So I'll be your number one fan, Mom. Uh, but yeah, I also, Uncle David, I watch all your videos. So like I even go back. I always put you on play all and it just plays them all. But Uncle David said, "You can do it. Come on." Yes, she can. And another thing is like, let's say maybe you want to like ease into it. I would say start posting on Instagram or TikTok, like those platforms too. Those may seem a little bit less intimidating, and those are platforms that people use. And I'm actually, to be honest, YouTube is probably the one platform that I'm way more consistent with. With my TikTok, I post, that's more like my fun account, I'd say. Like I don't have like a consistent type of video I post on my TikTok. It's more kind of like random, and it's like fun, and like I do some like silly bits on there. But then like my Instagram, that one I do kind of like behind the scenes of like what you guys would see here, a video. I kind of post like behind the scenes on there. So you never know. You could start posting on Reels and blow up one day. You never know what video is going to be the video that takes you from here to there. But you can definitely do it, Mom. Anyone can do it. I swear, like, there's definitely people out here who will support you. So do it. Do it. But guys, it is getting to that time where we have to head out. It's a little bit shorter live today. We are headed to Myrtle Beach to go see the in-laws. I'm so excited to give them a big, big hug and just hopefully have some good seafood. And I want to see a shark. So if you do not follow my Instagram, you definitely should. It is Life with Mars with a 3. I'll be posting some kind of like what we're doing throughout the trip. So yes, Uncle David, consistency is key. I have been trying to be way more consistent, and what I've seen is my last 2 videos have actually gotten over 500 views, which has been so awesome. Thank you guys so much for all the support and watching. But like that is, I remember my videos getting like maybe like 5 views or 20 views, and to me I was like over the moon. But now to see like over 500 views, that is just like that just like shows like hard work pays off, and like keep posting and like grinding and doing this. And like it's so fun for me to post, and even like editing. I was talking to my little sister, like before my videos, even though they were way shorter, I'm talking like maybe like a 10-minute video would take me 2 days to edit, and like or even longer sometimes. And now, I mean, maybe the last video I posted, I think it was like 18 minutes long. I think that took me 2 hours to edit. So it's just all about consistency, and just like it's like a muscle. You just got to keep working it, and you're going to get better at it. And exactly like Uncle David said, you learn every single day, and you just keep learning every day. I learn something new about YouTube and editing every time, every single day, like when I do it, even like angles, or like there's just so much like behind the scenes stuff that you learn. And I'm excited to be a sponge and just soak up all that knowledge as I learn more about it. So my mom said, have fun. Everyone have a great day. Yes. Oh, well, I hope you guys all have a beautiful Saturday. I almost said Sunday, but I will not be going live tomorrow since this is going to be a replacement of that live, as I will be with family tomorrow. I'm going to do some just disconnect a bit and kind of be in the moment. So I am so excited. I love you too. Josh, I see you're in here. I love you, boo. Uncle David said, it's magic. Yes, that is right. Well, everyone have a beautiful Saturday, a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you in next week's video, and I'll be live again next Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, normal time. So bye, guys. Love you, Nana.